You're listening to WLIP, now CBS News.
And we are back. Welcome, everyone. What can I say? If you've ever watched Jerry Springer, Hardcore Pawn, or The Steve Wilkos Show, and you pay attention to the credits, you may already recognize the name of our next guest. That would be writer-producer Luana Figueroa. Luana joins us today to discuss the state of reality TV and one of her latest film projects entitled The Bone Box. Good afternoon. Welcome back, Luana.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You know what? That's a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're a beautiful lady, too.
Thank you.
Well, she's you know what? Working on shows like Springer and Wilkos, every imaginable subject material has been approached, and some of it is very sensitive.
Yes. Working for Jerry Springer, it was...
And that's where you cut your teeth, right? Was
yes,
on Springer. Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't have a home. I didn't have much of anything, not a pot or a window to throw it out of.
Hold on 1 second. Wait a minute. That's a pretty strong statement you're making.
Yes.
I mean... How did you,
me and my family lived in a car at one point.
Really? So now, okay, but if you apply for a job, don't you have to have an address?
I was discovered. I was actually discovered by Richard Dominic, and he discovered me. He was the creator of Jerry Springer, and seen something in me. I actually was there as an audience member. I was not even supposed to be there. I ended up being there. I got a ticket on a whim, and showed up.
Wait. And at that point, you were between households, or you were?
Yes, I was in between households. I just ended up happening to be there at that time, and they... I always have something to say because I'm Puerto Rican, and Puerto Ricans have a lot to say. And I ended up raising my hand to say something in Q&A, and the audience cheered, "Show your boobs, show your boobs." And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. And then they were like, "Dance on the pole, dance on the pole." I'm like, oh, okay, why not? So that's how it all started.
So you were there the day of the show when they were talking about curriculum enrichment at the Chicago Public Schools?
It was actually a blind pimp.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
A blind pimp.
So why would he care whether or not you showed your boobs?
Right? Couldn't see them anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I ended up getting my start, and ever since then.
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, let's back up here because I think there's more details here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so obviously you interacted, you were quick on your feet with the audience. So Richard Dominic, who is legendary in the industry.
I call him the guru.
Yes, he really is. He saw some sort of a spark there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then, the show gets done. Then what happened? Did somebody from his staff come over?
Yes.
Or?
Steve Wilkos came up to me, and he says, "Somebody wants to speak with you, and would you be willing to talk with him?" I said, "Absolutely." And I went and talked with him. He says, "What do you do? Where are you from?" And I'm like, I'm not really doing nothing. I worked at 2 different Dunkin' Donuts at the time.
Well, why not one?
I needed more money.
Okay, so
I had to live, survive.
Well, it's also about being in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
And being prepared.
Yes.
If and when that opportunity comes, which you obviously were. But...
And it was a ripple effect for me because now I have 2 younger sisters, Diamond and Destiny. My little sister, Diamond, she's amazing. She's an artist and went to the Art Institute in Chicago. And my other sister, she's following the footsteps. Her name's Destiny, and she is going to film school. Now they are going into the industry, and it's just like,
well,
it's
you
so
open the
beautiful.
Door. Now, Hardcore Pawn. I remember we were sent, do you call them screeners? We got an episode was sent to us before it made its premiere on TV.
Okay.
In fact, the first time we had Les on our show was before the show even played.
I remember that.
Air. Yeah. Now, you were a longtime producer of that show, 120 plus episodes. Yes. I mean, you were there at the beginning, weren't you?
Yes, and it was a very, very rough place to be. Very dangerous, depending on if you want it to be dangerous, because some people say, everybody here, you should be the mayor.
But it's a sketchy neighborhood, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very.
We're talking about Detroit. That's where the show is based on. Very successful show.
Yes. It was definitely successful. It's highest rated show. I think it was like 3.2 million views. The highest rated in True TV's history.
Now, if you go to IMDb,
congratulations, that's pretty awesome.
Which is really the data bible of the show business industry. And you look up Hardcore Pawn next to Les Gold, Seth Gold, his son. I mean, the next highest number of producer credits is you. I mean, you were right up in the top 4.
I worked very hard for it.
Yes. Okay.
You want me to go through the trash? I'll go through the trash. You put me anywhere around the world.
Yeah, but you did
I'll
it
adapt.
all. You did it all, okay, with that show. But you left it.
Yes.
Okay. Was that because you had that entrepreneurial spirit? You wanted to start your own company, which you have done?
Yes.
Okay.
I left because, I felt something else calling me. I'm not exactly sure where I should be, or I'm not sure where anything is leading me right now. I'm just kind of going on a whim and going where my heart is leading. And I started Lakeshore Productions 2 years ago. And I have 3 amazing partners, Mark Fazio, Don Mcneil, and Ian Hollandhead. And we all have battled it out. And through thick and thin, we are still there for one another.
Well, Don's a stand-up guy. He's
absolutely.
He's a solid guy, really. I've known Don Mcneil forever.
Yes.
Now, this Mark Fazio guy, I don't know anything about him. It almost seems like he might be Fabio's cousin or something.
No, he's actually the opposite.
What's the story on him?
Mark Fazio is a gold miner in Alaska, and he is one of the toughest adventure men you will ever meet. I mean, this guy packs it, carries it, and runs in the wild.
Wait a minute.
So you're right. He is the opposite of Fabio.
Exactly.
I was going to say the opposite of Don McNeil. I couldn't see Don McNeil roughing it.
Oh my
Could
God.
you?
Well, you know what? Don and I had went out to Alaska to film a show, and literally we were 300 miles away from civilization, not where many animals would go. And we were on top of a frozen over glacier.
What the heck were you doing out there?
We had to cross a river. We were out there filming a show, so we're like, oh, we're just going to get deep into it. And then when we got there, we're like, I guess we didn't really need to go this far to get the story.
No,
but
you didn't have to go that deep.
Exactly. But we went over this river, and I'm literally lifting my legs in an ATV to try to get over this river. And the river is pulling us. And, we've been through some dangerous situations, me and my crew. But so,
Is that gold mining business a good business to be in?
I guess for them, if you own a lot of land, that's for sure.
So Mark has stakes on certain areas. Is that how it works?
He has about two football fields worth of land, and it's so far we're getting gold, and that's what this company is kind of being made off of.
Wow.
We're gold, people.
But it almost sounds like a reality show in itself. You could do a show on your show.
I know.
On your production company.
I know.
But now, one of the other things that you've been working on is this feature, the Bone Box.
I have my writer and director on the line with us, Luke Genton, and he will be explaining who our cast members are.
You're listening to WLIP CBS News.
Who is it?
Hi, thanks for having us on the show to talk about the film. This is awesome. So our cast includes Maria Olsen, who you're actually going to be talking to later. She's best known for films like The Lords of Salem, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, and Starry Eyes. The leading and supporting cast members include Nicholas Brendon, who's best known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Michelle Krusiec from the film The Invitation, and David Chokachi from Baywatch. We also have some relative newcomers in the cast, like Gareth Curzon from a film called The Black That Follows, and Tess Belomo with a web series called Liked. To keep up to date with the film's progress as we move into production, which is pretty soon, April 10th, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is @Luke Genton. We can't wait to share the film with you.
You're listening to WLIP CBS News.
Who is it? But it's an amazing journey that Lakeshore have been going on, and we didn't think that we were going to get into movies or want to get into movies. We weren't exactly sure what we were doing. We were just like,
that's got to be so much different than reality television.
Absolutely. I'm very, very positive about what's going to happen, and I think that this is going to take Lakeshore Productions to the next level.
All right. You heard it from the lips of Luana Figueroa. Let's take that break. When we come back, Maria Olsen's going to join the conversation right here, 1050 WLIP.
You're listening to WLIP CBS News.
And we're back. Welcome, everyone. Well, since 2005, our next guest, Maria Olsen, has been working on more than 65 feature films and over 150 shorts, television shows, music videos, and commercials. And when she's not in front of the camera, she's behind it. And some of her works have appeared at the Cannes Film Festival as well as the Sundance Film Festival. Now, she is in front of the camera for one of these projects. It's entitled The Bone Box. Now, if you've been with us in the beginning of this segment, you already know a little bit about Maria Olsen because Luana Figueroa has been filling us in. But why not go to the source? Why not go right to Maria so we can find out the rest of the story? Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you so much. And how are you this fine day?
Well, we're doing pretty good. You know, we've had a pretty mild winter up here in Wisconsin/Illinois, so we're doing okay. We're on the home stretch.
Home now is Los Angeles. When you guys are like under 6 foot of snow, we wearing shorts and it's sunshine.
Yeah, but there's earthquakes and landslides and don't forget the fires and then the drought and then the flooding.
Let the woman enjoy her home. They have the sun. They have the sun.
And now the flooding, and I mean it's I'm just waiting.
As long as you're on a roll, let's not mention the cost of living.
Yeah, Maria, I'm just waiting for the locust. I figure that's next.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is a wonderful place to live, Maria. Don't let Frank put a damper on it.
No, it is. But it's, you know what? It is a tough city, isn't it? I mean, just even getting around is tough, isn't it?
I lived in New York for a short while, and compared to Los Angeles, I think I prefer LA. It has wide open spaces. You can see the sky. And if you have a car that actually runs, then you can pretty much get everywhere. Yeah, sure, it might take you 5 hours to drive 10 miles, but hey, you'll still get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you're right, and it's my time spent out there. I always marveled that people didn't think anything of jumping in a car and driving 35 minutes to go get a pizza. I mean, it's just everything's so spread out. But
yeah, that's true.
But it is expensive. It's an expensive area to live.
Oh gosh, yes.
But you know what? It's the place to be when you're in the field of work that you're in, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. New York was wonderful, but I did theater when I was there. For film, definitely Los Angeles is the place.
All right. So now you're a young lady, but you've done so much. I mean, you must have started at a young age.
Actually, I was 6 when I started on stage, yes.
Okay. That explains it.
Progressed to film in 2006, actually, and that's a while back right now, yeah.
Yeah. I figured, just looking at your bio, going on IMDb, I mean, you're a very, very busy person.
I get around, you could say that.
Well, okay. You said it, I didn't. I don't know anything about your personal life, Maria. If you say you get around, okay, you get around. But what about the Bone Box? What can you tell us about it? Can you give us a little synopsis without giving away too much of it?
Absolutely. We have a very desperate man in the center of our story who's pretty much willing to do anything to get his hands on some money so he can pay his creditors off. And it would seem that anything would stretch to robbing the graves of the recently dead. This is a very stylish and smart thriller or even smart horror. And what it brings to mind to me is Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, where you have someone who's done something and he feels so incredibly guilty about it that he starts seeing and hearing things and having things happen to him, and he's not quite sure if he's sane or insane or what's going on. It's just a really cool story, and I cannot wait to work on it.
Yeah. So now, Luana Figueroa, she left the studio, so you can tell us what she's really like to work with. Not.
She's still here.
She's still here.
I think Maria would have recognized
so far
that.
Has been wonderful.
Yeah. And Luana has been very forthright about the fact that, she really never imagined that she would be doing a feature film. She, her roots are in television, specifically reality television. Mm-hmm. And there is quite a difference, wouldn't you say, Luana, between the two?
Absolutely. It's like night and day. It definitely is similar there's similar traits, but it's also very, very, very different. And I'm executive producing The Bone Box alongside of the amazing directors and Cynthia Bravo and all these amazing people that are coming forth. And I'm going to kind of take the back seat on this one and definitely view of what's going on and what's happening. And I'm just happy to be a part of this amazing film and be able to help them get it done.
And the stakes are higher with feature films. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. The costs are a lot more higher and the stakes are very, very high. But with this film, I definitely believe that with everything that's being spent financially, it's definitely going to hopefully have an amazing turnaround.
Yeah. Maria, some of your projects, Paranormal Activity 3, American Horror Story, Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem. Do you gravitate to that? I mean, do you find
Yes, I do. When I was growing up in theater in South Africa, I did a lot of musical comedy and straight plays. But when I hit the LA film scene and I started seeing myself on screen in my auditions and my projects, I was like, whoa, girl, you have a really, really intense on-screen presence. So why don't you use that to your advantage and go out for things like heavy drama, science fiction, fantasy, and above all, horror? And that's what I've been doing. And I just seem to book a lot of horror because I for whatever reason, I have the ability to be incredibly intense on screen. And I'm going to play that for all it's worth. I love the genre, grew up with it, and I love performing in horror.
Mm-hmm. We're visiting with Maria Olsen. She comes courtesy of our guest here, Luana Figueroa, who is the executive producer of this new film called The Bone Box. And Luana, I'm just curious, okay, so right now, L.A., you call Los Angeles home, okay, but did you grow up in South Africa?
You mean Maria?
Yes.
What did I say?
You said Luana.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've been
sorry.
switched at birth.
Yes.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Don't, you know what?
No problem.
I'll get it right at 3:05. Trust me. Okay, so Maria, did you grow up in South Africa?
Yes, I absolutely did. I only moved out to Los Angeles in 2005.
Okay. I've been told and I've read that some of the big cities in South Africa can be a little risky to live in. Is that true?
Yes, incredibly risky, actually. So much so that I chose not to live in any of the really big cities. I lived in a beautiful coastal town the size of Santa Barbara, give or take. And it was called East London, which is where everyone gets confused because then they say, oh, so you're from England. And I'm like, no, I'm from South Africa.
Mm-hmm. But there's strong British roots there.
Absolutely, although my people come from Europe. They're not connected to Britain at all, funnily enough. But, even though I am English South African, so that's a bit confusing.
Okay, East London, you compared it to Santa Barbara. Now, Santa Barbara is a very expensive area to live in. Is it expensive to live in East London?
Not so much, or at least not so much when I was there. In fact, I owned a house there, and when I sold it a couple years after I moved here, I did get about 3 times the amount of money that I paid for it. So I'm thinking things are way more expensive there now than when I was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When Oscar Pistorius was in court the first time, we had a guest on from out there, from South Africa, and that's when I first became aware of the fact that it can be very dangerous, and that a lot of people live in pretty much like compounds with high walls and things of that sort. That things like rape are very common.
Yeah, it's actually, unfortunately, one of the most violent countries in the world.
Yeah, very disturbing.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So, you know what tells you it's really bad there? When you think of Los Angeles as being very safe compared to some of these cities.
And that's exactly how I feel. I walk down Hollywood streets at 10, 11, 12 at night, and I feel absolutely fine.
Right.
Given where I've come from, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's all relevant. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Maria, if you weren't in the arts, if you weren't acting, what would you do? Could you see yourself in any other capacity?
Actually, when I was in South Africa, I worked for one of the top 5 accounting firms, PricewaterhouseCoopers, And I was a bankruptcy trustee for about 12 years.
Really?
There's a very administrative, inclined, loving Excel spreadsheet side of my brain.
It's too bad that you didn't go further. Maybe if you would have been the one that handed out the envelopes at the Oscars, it would have gone properly.
You never know.
You know what, though, Maria, you don't see that too often, that right brain, left brain thing both working well, though. You know what I mean? It seems like people that are in the arts wouldn't be strong in that other field that you were in.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm a double threat, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and that, Kim mentioned, though, about that snafu, and but apparently the two Price Waterhouse employees will not be invited back to the Oscars. That's
I wonder why.
And have you ever thought of doing accounting in zombie makeup? I mean, there might be some.
I don't know about that. Not at least not with the Price Waterhouse. That's kind of a button-down firm.
I suppose
That's not going to happen there. But wow, that's interesting to see, Maria. That there's that other side to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, but you know what? Before your acting career took off, I mean, that could be a good way to support you in those lean years. Tell us a little bit about Monster Works 66.
That was my production company, which has been a bit quiet lately because I've had to concentrate on other things. But while we were up and running, I think we got out about 4 or 5 films, the most recent being the horror feature Consumption, which is pretty much worldwide release now on DVD. And it's getting really good reviews. It won the best grindhouse feature at the RIP Horror Festival here 2 years ago. With our leading actress taking the Best Actress award as well. It was a very, very micro-budget film. Literally, we made it for under $10,000, and we are ecstatic with the results.
Go ahead, Maria. I'm sorry.
No worries. Other films, Way Down in Chinatown, which is a black and white sci-fi noir, actually a very strange film. I sort of like strange and different things. That one should be available on Amazon. Far Away is pretty much available Amazon and I think Hulu as well. So that one's out. I did a short film which is on the Chiller not channel, but there was a oh my gosh, I've forgotten the website, but that one's up on, I think it's chillertv.net or something. That is called Life is a Lottery. Randall Cameron is back in the Philippines right now shooting The Monsters Without, our next feature in the Philippines that I'm doing with Soliloquy Pictures. Oh, then there's Something Sinister, which is up on Amazon right now. That was an art house horror that we shot 5 years back. Very interesting, beautifully shot film by Christopher Dye. All right. And I'm quite sure I'm forgetting things. I could just ramble on forever.
Back to the Bone Box.
Yes.
How do we find this? When do we start looking for it?
Luana?
Go ahead. Well, we start filming April 10th. And we'll be getting back with you guys, hopefully back here on air to let you guys know the release date and when it's going to be, where it's going to be at.
And where are you filming?
We're filming it in L.A.
Not Vancouver?
Half and half, no.
There used to
That's
be
our
some,
next film.
Yeah, there used to be
called
some,
Vancouver Down.
Yeah, there were some advantages to leaving the country for some of these productions. From what I understand, if you go back in your lineage, Maria, there's this obscure painter that you're related to. Care to share?
Absolutely, Rembrandt van Ryan of
That's
the
not
Night
so
Watch
obscure,
fame.
huh, Maria? Not that
Not
obscure.
that obscure.
Yeah. So
he's my 8th great grandfather, actually.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing.
So I mean, if you hit a dry spell, could you just pull out the canvas and whip a few things out to carry you through to your next project? Is there anything in the DNA as far as artistic ability on canvas?
No, I couldn't draw a straight line without a ruler. But my dad has the talent. He actually sells his paintings and he's painted woodwork.
Really?
So, yeah, it skipped me
See?
entirely, but my dad has it.
So there's something about that generational thing, yeah. Now, if I asked, okay, let's just suspend reality for a moment, okay?
We often do here on
Yes,
the show.
yes, we do. In fact, I'm a legend in my own mind. If we suspend reality for a moment, and I'm the head of a network, high profile network,
It looks like you could be that.
and
Absolutely.
I go to Luana and Maria and I say, ladies, I want a reality show. I want something. Could the two of you put your heads together and put something together?
Absolutely. Whatever you need. You just let us know.
Okay, how would you utilize Maria? How could you? I mean, what's the premise here?
I would say partner up and and just kind of hash it out, see what they're looking for, what it is, what is their vision, and then kind of go from there and create beautiful art. Like that's really what it is. And Maria was saying that, you know, she can't really draw. It's the same thing as me. My family has an art background and they're all artists, and me, I never was an artist.
Let me back up for a moment, okay, Luana? Maria, could you ever see yourself involved in a reality project?
As you were speaking, I was thinking things like, reality shows, horror actress. What about something like How to Survive Behind the Scenes in a Horror Movie? I mean, that could be fun.
That could be.
We have all sorts of tricks of the trade. I mean, there are people out there who say, I will never watch a horror movie. It's too terrifying.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, you haven't been backstage and seen what we get up to. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, but I mean, would it be from the standpoint or the premise?
So what is your idea?
Well, no, I'm just wondering if it would be from the premise.
So me and Maria can tell you how we would do this.
Wait a minute. No, I'm just saying, I wonder if the angle would be where you would demystify. Okay, because like you said, Maria, there's tricks to the trade.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of like there's that show out there where the magicians, the illusionists are, you know, they're spilling the secrets. I mean, I got to believe there's all kinds of trade secrets that go with the horror genre.
Yes.
That sounds
we'll have to kill you to
fascinating.
tell you.
Yeah.
That's my.
You're not going to find out.
You're onto something, Maria, because you hear about these stories of how, you know, some people were hurt because of the different ways that they had to be dragged up the stairs, or, I mean, so many different things. That sounds interesting. I'd watch that.
I mean, there's supposed to be a curse on the set of The Exorcist. I mean,
right?
We've all heard of
that. And
Well, yeah, I guess what you could do is...
And you could dispel the myths.
Well, yeah,
it wasn't really pea soup that they used.
You mentioned The Exorcist, okay? There's a whole slew of high-profile films like that where there's probably a story behind the story.
Right. Well, and look at, we went to Estes Park, Colorado, where The Shining was filmed.
Oh, yes.
So,
the Stanley
you can go
Hotel.
to the real life scene, you know, where a lot of these scenes were filmed. And I'm liking this. And you could have like a camp out when the place is closed.
Well, we will be doing a behind the scenes for Bone Box as well. So you guys will be able to see the director's cut.
Yeah, and that's very important in the business now, right? To have those extras, because you're making this for, if it doesn't end up with a theatrical release, it's even that much more important, right? To have those extra features, those added extras for the DVD release.
Well, I think it's always great so people can actually go through what we're going through at that time.
Mm-hmm. Well, if nothing else, it's going to be awfully cool for you guys to have it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the world will have it, hopefully.
I'm hoping so, too.
Yes.
So, Maria, we've got to ask you, because Luana's here, and if she hasn't already asked the question, maybe she'll find it interesting with your response. Is there any reality TV programming out there that you do watch? I mean, you're a very busy person, but is there any must-see TV when it comes to reality?
Actually, no. I generally steer clear from reality because my interest is in, acting rather than just being yourself. Although I am a strong strong supporter of everyone being themselves.
You know, it's
sure
funny
how
that
much reality TV is being yourself, though, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Exactly. What's funny is that I myself don't watch much reality TV, but I do watch more sitcoms and Criminal Minds and things of that nature.
You know what? I'm a sucker for Law and Order.
Oh my gosh!
I just love that show. But how much of reality is scripted, Luana?
None of it.
I'm sure it depends on the show. Different
None
show.
of it.
I mean, where was that? Where
In La Jolla, California.
Yeah, what was the hotel?
La Valencia, also known as the Pink Lady.
Okay, so our niece and her boyfriend, well, our niece got married there, and then her sister was staying there, and some of the others. We were at a lower
We
rent
were at the common folks
hotel. Yeah. But they were there, and this was a day or two after we had already left. And I don't know. Okay, so, these SUVs all pull up. Right?
Here's Matt. He's outside with his phone trying to tell his Uber driver where he is, and all of a sudden, like 6 black SUVs pull up. The Kardashians get out. Photographers come from out of the woodwork. I mean, they're just snapping pictures everywhere.
Yeah.
And Matt, my niece has a great picture of him with his hand. He dropped his bag and put his hands up. He thought it was like a raid, police raid or something.
What were you carrying?
Okay.
It was like, but I think what Frank is getting at is obviously somebody knew they were coming because photographers came out of every crevice.
I mean, this is La Jolla. It's a sleepy community.
Honestly, a lot of it is real. Mostly all of it, and we just basically are the people that are the eyes of these people's lives. I working on Hardcore Pond almost got shot twice. So it is definitely.
So you just have to cut out the boring stuff and find the good
Well,
stuff.
I mean, it just happens.
But let's say, with Hardcore Pond, Les's store isn't that busy all the time.
Oh, it is.
Is it really?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is super busy, especially on the first of the month.
Now, we've had Les on the show a number of times, and the last time I said...
Frank's worried about his daughter.
Yeah, okay.
Really?
Well,
she's doing amazing right now.
Well, but as the show progressed, a harder edge to her was revealed. Okay, it was like she was playing to the cameras. And I asked Les, I says, Les, are you concerned about your daughter? And he said there are times when he tells the camera crew, turn off the cameras. I want to talk to my kids.
Les is definitely a family man. And, if he sees something, he's going to call it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the camera stopped running.
Whenever he wants it.
Yeah, okay. I guess when you're less gold, you can
and then
do that.
here's me with a secret camera. I have a little microphone on me. I'm I'm just going to go stand right over here.
Yeah, but there are takes and retakes, right? In reality, that part of it, right?
Well, I would say if there was a situation that has already occurred and, they say how they feel about that situation and, we just interview them and find out how they're feeling, what the emotion is. But there's not really many retakes in reality TV because we can't, because it already happened.
Yeah, but in the movies,
the spontaneity.
Yeah.
In the movies, it's different, right? Exactly. Is, yeah. That's why this is such a different ballpark. So I'm hoping to take this this Picasso that I have in me to
Rembrandt?
Create.
Rembrandt. Yes.
to create. Amazing art in television and hopefully bringing that to this movie, The Bone Box.
And The Bone Box is now on our radar. We're going to be watching this most carefully. And Maria, we want to thank you for joining us. We understand you have a very busy schedule, so thank you for taking time out of your busy day, okay?
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you for having me on.
The pleasure is ours. Maria Olsen. Luana,
thank you.
We always love having you on the show.
Thank
all
you.
Don't be such a stranger.
Oh,
all right?
no. I'm
okay.
You're going to be begging me later, like, get this girl off the air already.
No. But sadly, we do have to wrap things up. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Tomorrow, that legendary broadcaster, Dick Biondi, is going to be with us, along with Ronnie Rice of the New Colony 6. So hopefully everybody will rejoin us. Have a great day, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You're listening to